Hey guys, so this time we're going to make some things different here. We're going to start with some other things about web design and we're going to start using Adobe XD. So this is, you can see I'm in Chrome. This is already in the browser. So it's something, a little project that we will have here. Okay, I already have some responsiveness, although I never did a screen with the mobile design inside Adobe XD. I will show you why or the steps I took in order to make the decisions that I made to make this responsive and to remove some things of the design and change some things from the thing that I have inside Adobe XD. We will start with that in a second. This is kind of fully responsive. I still need to fix this, but everything is working fine. As you can see, I just need to fix this, add the functionality, because I wasn't going to add responsiveness into this, but what's the point in doing this if I'm not going to add responsiveness, right? So yeah, as I said, I didn't add anything inside Adobe XD about the mobile screen, so I did this kind of by using the experience I have while building mobile applications. So I just create a basic navigation that I still need to add because you can see this is not working, the functionality, but that is just a simple thing that I need to add. But well, let's start with this. So I will be using, before that, the illustrations that are coming from Smash Illustrations. So you click here, the constructor. As you can see, we will try to mimic some landing pages like these ones that are pretty simple, okay, but they have of course you will receive these assets from your graphic designer, okay, or in case you will need to do it yourselves, but you can see that these are simple landing pages that most of the times this is something that people is going to ask you. Not all the things that you see in Dribble or Behance, not all those crazy things, because those require more work and sometimes are not easy to achieve the functionality even with using 3JS, and sometimes it makes the page load it's harder to load in certain devices. It's a ton of work, and that's why you will see people saying, well, that design is not suitable for web, it's only for looks. Okay, so yeah, you just as I said, click here and that will drag you into this Smash Illustrations free tier, and you can see you will receive the full vector, the sketch and Figma files, and the characters that you will be able to create other characters, and 20 already pre-built scenes. So this is free for personal and commercial license. That is pretty good if you are going to build something and let's say your client says, I don't have any thing to work with. Why we don't start with something and then we employ a graphic designer or something like that. So this is going to make things easier in order for you to start working and to create a template and display the template and say to the client, here is the template, you can see how this is going to look, and I'm using this, that if you want to use it, we can use it. So that's it. And what else? So you just download that. I will be using Google Fonts. I know this is a lot of talking, but I will try to make my courses, and of course, since this is the first course about this, I will try to make you understand where I'm getting this so you can get them and you can stop waiting for someone to send you the files, okay, in this kind of tutorial, so you can start looking for them. I will show you other places where you can get them so you can have your own things and design your own things in however manner you want to do it. So just click here and you will get this download this selection. You will get all the downloads. I already have this one downloaded. In order to install whatever you want to install, just double click this instead of extracting, and you just click install. This is Windows, of course, and just like that you will have your fonts. So that's the only thing. Let me just, well, minimize this. And as I said, this is what we're going to build. This is a PNG from Adobe XD. Okay, and I have it here. So let's start building this. So let's add the fill that you can see the fill here. I will change a few things. I might change a few things. So yeah, so let's start. I already added. You just double click or click here the web 120 180. Okay, change the fill with this button. And if you want, okay, no, I don't want that. If you want, you can come here into layout and add the grids. Okay, you can also scroll down here in columns and just make this a little lighter so you can see better. But right now we're just going to focus in the shape and then add the layout. So I'm going to just Control L. Okay, so this is just the, sorry, I forgot about that. This is just the artboard, so we cannot lock this, but we will add first. Well, let's start with the pen tool, and let me just check inside my other screen the shape that I have. That is something similar to, we have something like this. I know you cannot see that good, but I will try to set this kinda. Okay, so we have this shape. I hope you can see this, but let's remove the border and add a fill. So we will fill it with a little color that is a little lighter. No, this is kinda, okay, so like this. Maybe like this, so it's kinda subtle. Okay, you can see it, but you cannot see it that well. So the next thing is that we're going to just Control D to duplicate, and we already have that. So let's make it wider and move it down. Change the fill to be something a little darker, and you can see we start seeing these things. Also, I will move it a little bit there. Let's make this a little bigger. Not like that, but with holding shift. Okay. Now, Control D again to duplicate that. We move it down. We add another one and just move this a little bit. We change the color so we can see a little bit of it. Okay. And another one, Control D, place that below and just move it a little, make it a little bigger, and just make this just like that. Okay, so if we preview, remember that this is 1980, I mean 1920 by 1080. So this is at scale in order for us to see it here inside my display. So this one, my display is 720p. Okay, so we can group all this, I think, and we can move it down a little bit. So I think this looks kind of fine. Let's move it a little bit down. Okay, of course this will be a little smaller in comparison. Okay, let's make it bigger. So just like that. Yes, it will have some variations of from the design that we have, like the color and this kind of shape, but it's just for us or for you to learn how to do these things. So let me show you something. We will not do some crazy shit, okay? Of course, I will add some Photoshop into this to make some things work. But if you want to see what people are doing and what is on the web, go to Lapa Ninja, and I will, if you want me to mimic one of these, just let me know. This one is pretty good. And I will see how they did it, and I will add it, and we can also code it in HTML if you want to. So you can see the designs that are currently in the web that are different but are not that crazy. As you can see, these are actual landing pages, so this one looks pretty good. So some of those have animations and all that, but you can see most of the times the style is kind of minimal with some variations in color, but it's kind of minimal because we don't want the user to get caught into a ton of animation, a ton of images, okay, that can distract them. We want to give the content right away, okay, so this is kind of cool, okay, but it will depend also in the kind of landing page that you want to create. We will be creating in this channel some minimal landing pages, and I will even you will see I have things planned for the future of the channel. So let's take it easy here because I know I don't want to speed up this. I just created a rectangle with 80 height. It adds a border right away, and well, let's keep the border and let's remove the fill with the border. Okay, I'm going to lock this with Control L. The border is going to tell me where this thing is located, so that's why I kept the border there, because this is going to be the navigation. And as you can see, this is something that I'm going to do regularly. So you can come back into this official nomos and inspect. So in order for you to start seeing what is the real width and height of the things, okay, they have around 80, 84, that's 75 in this container, okay. So you will see how people are working with this, and you can see the spacings are less in some navigations. So this is the real thing, the real world, not just a simple thing that you are going to show to other designers and live like that. So this is for real people that want to work with this. So I have the group one, so let's lock it. So we don't want to move this. Okay, now we cannot move it. Now let's create a text, and I know where is my the 80 pixels of height that I want inside my navigation, or my navigation to be. So I'm going to use, as I said, poppins. Well, let's just type something. Let's say lorem ipsum. You cannot see this. Also, I will be using, which I think is okay. I will be using something similar to what people is using, as you can see here on this kind of landing pages, or on these landing pages. I will be using similar. So let's take a look at this one. So as I said, this is not something for the people that just want to, oh, I want to show this to another designer and just move on. No, this is for people that want to work actually building these things, okay, for you to see the width and height of the things and to understand how this thing is working. So you can see we have the font size of 90 pixels inside this, okay, so this is 90 pixels. So you could see how you want to display that. I'm going to work with 65 pixels here. So I'm going to change this one for Poppins. I already have installed. And if you install this before going or before, I mean, if you open Adobe XD and then install a font, you will need to restart Adobe XD in order for them to locate the font. Okay, it's not like Photoshop or Illustrator where you can actually install something, install a font, and then it's automatically there. So let's change this to be white. I want this to be white. So this is going to be build SEO friendly websites with ease. And we can add a period there. So let's just, okay, move it like that. And for this, we will need to click this and set our grid again. So I'm going to add it or snap it here. Okay. I will not worry too much on the width that I have or the space I have below the navigation, because on different screens you will need to change that depending on how you want to display it, because in, let's say we have 720, that maybe should be around here. You will not see the rest of the page if you have this bigger. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's make this, let's make another. So let's say, let's actually go, I know this or let me just, I can grab this from, yep, I can grab this, Control C. Okay, I was going to use Lorem Ipsum, but let's just paste this one. And as I remember, I have, I think, 20 pixels there with medium font, and I have 45, no, it's 18, sorry, this is 18, and 45 for the line height. So let's go there. You can also let's just move it maybe a little 40, yeah, just like that. So let's preview. So let's see how this is working. Okay, my recording, am I talking alone? 15 minutes. Okay, this should be around half an hour. Okay, because I will try to explain most of the things I'm doing, and also so let's, I'm not going to group those, I'm going to wait. So we can start now with the, so let's add this. So let's say, I think the site is easy sites. This is something like, you know, Bootstrap allows you to create some pages, but the idea, this would be something like Bootstrap, but will allow you to create something that is semantically correct. So this is 20 pixels, and I have it like, yeah, let me take a look. Yes, I have it bold. So this is kind of something like that. So you know, I didn't give too much thought into this. I just wanted to have kind of an idea of what I wanted to do to match kind of a design into this that matches the image that I have, and you know, just to play with it. This will be a nice tutorial on how to kind of play with Adobe XD to understand how to work with some basic stuff, and This should be around 160 maybe. I think I have it like 160. Okay, so the only thing is that they add the border like that. So let me just move this, and I think I will need to set it bigger. So let's add something here that is download trial. This one is 16, I think, and I think I have it medium. So let's keep that medium, and let's change the color or the fill into this. Is something like the color we have here. So as I said, when you're starting with this, don't give too much thought on what you want to do, okay, or what the site needs to do or needs to be. Just be creative and start playing with this. Is something that we programmers stop doing because we're too focused on memory leaks, on how to get something working fine, or how to make the application more performant. You know, we start worrying about that, and we stop worrying about, because that is not our job actually. We stop worrying about playing with designs, with things. So let's make this 54 should be fine. So I will we will change this later. So let's actually move this down there. We will add here learn more, and of course we will change this because we cannot see it. You can hear my dog there is making some noises. Okay, so okay, let's take a look, and looks kind of good. Maybe to now, because there's a ton of space here, even though this shouldn't be a problem on smaller screens. Let's make this a little, let's move all this. I will add, well, I need first to add the icons. You saw that I have these icons are from Font Awesome, so are not the icons that I'm going to use in order to work inside Adobe XD. So how to get icons? So let's say Adobe XD material icons, 1,000 free material icons for Adobe XD, and you can see material icons for Adobe XD here, free download, and you will download the material icons that are the ones I'm using. So I already have that. So I forgot about this. So let me just move. So you should already have the Smash. I don't have it. Okay, nice. The Smash illustrations downloaded. Okay, if you haven't, just download it because I'm going to add that right away. You can go to the SVG folder and grab the designers.svg. That is the one I'm going to add, and I'm going to just move it from there to here. You can see this one. Just make it something that kind of works. Don't worry too much about this. Usually in this kind of designs, people don't worry too much about if this line is not aligning or something like that. Something that is kinda working with what you have. Okay, so we can display it, and looks kind of good. To be a simple thing, looks kind of good. Of course, we don't want to show the border, but we need that right now. So I will go into my material icon. So you should already have downloaded those ones, and you will see a material icons. Okay, so let me show you. You will see these material icons, Google XD. So double click that. It will open. Let's wait. Okay, it will open all these icons that are from Google, and just let me find what. Okay, so this is the first one. Let me copy this one. This is kind of a download, so let's add it, paste it. So where the hell that is? Okay, it's up here. I don't know why. Let's move it there. I will not worry too much about that. So let's control, hit hold control and the mouse wheel in order to go down there, and let's match that color so we can see these two kinda. Also we need to align it. No, like that, sorry. It's kinda fine, so we're not going to worry about this. Control G to group that out, and you can see we have this. So select the new group and the rectangle and just align those. Okay, so now just group it so you can move all those together. So we learn more. We're going to add the. Okay, move this out of the way. Let's add. Let me look. You can see that there's a ton of icons. This little arrow. So let's copy this. Let's move all that away and control and mouse wheel to get closer to that, and let's actually grab the color that we have that is actually pure white, although it doesn't look like that because it's overlaying this bar is overlaying the icon, but you can see there that now it looks white. So let's just group it, grab again the other rectangle and just make it work like that. So Control G to group them all, and you can see we're kind of done with this. So don't get too caught into so let's move down, move to zoom, I mean. Don't get too caught up into this spacing needs to be like that and that needs to be like that. Something that is appealing but that keeps the context. Okay, you don't want this to be like this because you know it loses the context of what these two buttons should be, okay, or should address. So let's make it there that are kinda a little far apart from the description that we want to display here, but still are kinda in the same context. So you can see we have this, and you can add some other, copy this one, okay, if you want. I have this locked, of course. You can just copy this one and paste it and move it and just play with it, because I know that you will try to fix or to fill some spaces, but don't worry too much about those, since once we start adding more things into our landing pages, or we start designing actual landing pages, we will worry about how to make all this balance and how to make this work. But right now we're just setting up things so we can keep up with the content that we have in the channel. So what I'm going to do now is I just duplicated this, holding Alt, select this one and just move it with the mouse and you will duplicate that. So this, as I think, is 16 pixels and is medium. So the first one is pricing, okay. So let's just do this. The other one is services. and let's do another one, and this one is about. Okay, so let's kinda move this a little far apart. 44, 43, okay, that looks kind of fine. So let's group them all together and move them. Since we have this one on the edge of the second one, we're going to do the same with this. Okay, just like that, and these two should be kinda in the same line. Okay, because this P needs to be in like this. Okay, now it looks better. So we just group all this, we just unlock the bar, and we just set it correctly on where it should need. Okay, that is not going to work. Just like that. No, I have the habit. If you are a developer, I know you should have, or probably you have the habit of hitting Control S every time you do something that you don't want to do again. So you keep all those changes saved, look just like that. But I don't want to save this one. Okay, let's just save it to tut Adobe header. Let's say header tut, just like that. We can save it in the cloud, or oh, they're going to remove this your computer. Okay, you will not be able to. So let's save it in the cloud. You will not be able to save this unless you pay inside your computer. So well, that's a decision they made. So it's their product, so they are going to do it however they want. So this looks a little. Let's just take a look at this. It looks a little too close. So let's actually. No, I don't want to do that. I want to move it. And 73, 64. Something that is kind of 81, 81. Okay, that seems right. It seems that it moved up a little bit, but well, let's just keep it like that. Let's not worry too much about that and remove the border. So we cannot do that because it's locked. Or that shouldn't be locked. Okay, now we can see that the border is gone. And you can see that it's pretty easy in order to build something like this inside Adobe XD. Of course, if you want to add animations and all that, you can add them. And don't worry too much about this being only the header. We will build other things inside Adobe XD and then move to the browser to add them. So you might be thinking, so let me give you that at least. You might be thinking how you are going to do in order to get this. First, we will need to add a new marquee. Not marquee, but something like this. We remove this and we remove the fill. Why? Because we want to make a mask. So it's rectangle and group one. No, this one, and okay, that should be it, right? Rectangle 4 and group 1. Okay, that should be fine. And we just mask with shape. Now remove all this down there, and you can see we have, let's go back. Why is it does well, let me just, okay, click that one, and now this is mask, and we can just come here, export, select it, You will export this as SVG because this is just the, okay, you will see mask group 1 is what you exported, and you can see that this is it. This is the SVG that we built, and that is the way on which you can export your assets and just add them inside your HTML. If you still don't know how to set them, don't worry. Next week we will make all the work in order to make this work inside this, inside the browser. And also remember that we're going to, or I'm going to tell you, so which one is, okay, this one. I'm going to tell you the decisions I made in order to make this responsive, okay? Why I did the things that I did, and I also made some changes depending or keeping in mind the width on which this is going to be displayed. So you also need to be aware of that. As I said before, usually, okay, this needs to be fixed, I know. Usually you will see people only building something in order to build it. You will see in Dribble some designs that have a ton of things, or some designs that right now I see some designs that are quite easy to implement inside the browser, okay, that you don't need a ton of work and they still look good. Something like these landing pages we have in Lapa Ninja. Now some people are moving to there, okay, to this path on which they look good, they look different, but they are also easy to implement, and you will see jobs, okay, if you are aware or if you want to work with in this UX field. You will see works or gigs on Upwork, Guru, on whatever, that ask for people that know a little bit of code while doing this, while doing or working with Adobe XD, because they want something that is achievable inside the browser. They don't want some cool stuff that then is going to be a pain for the developer or web designer in order to implement it in the browser. Okay, so let me just take a final look on this. Okay, this will be the next week content, okay, for I think Thursday. So let me just show you that. Okay, around 16, this should be in the 9. Around 16, you should have the implementation of this. Should be around 1 hour of video. Okay, but this will be also pretty useful for beginners inside HTML and CSS in order to start working with this, and that is the aim of this, aside of working more in our creative field, in our imaginations, in order to start building this kind of good looking or pretty good looking landing pages and applications or interfaces. So that's it, and see you in the next one.